Good morning. Nice. Sure got some good camera angles over here. Hmm. Yeah, that works. Cool. Set this right here, everybody. Hi, good morning, everybody. Starting the live a few minutes early for those popping in so that we can go ahead and grab our props here. So what we will need for today's class are blocks. If you have one, that's okay. Two would be fine. Strap. Let's see, I can't type. Yes, strap. And a blanket. Black strap blanket. That's all that you're really going to need for this morning's class. If you wanted to bring a pillow for some additional support for your hips, possibly, then you can go ahead and bring in a pillow as well. Or if you need a resting pillow for any forward folds. So those are what we're going to need. And you can go ahead and take the time while others come and join this morning's class. You're so good. And so I got my jumper for a strap. And so you can use anything that is strap-like. There we go. All right. And for anybody else who has joined in this live feed at this moment, good morning. My name is Julia. If you haven't taken me in class before, it is very wonderful to meet you all. Please let me know who is watching the video so I could be like, hi, with the name and not just, in front of a screen over here. This is Sarge. So if you happen to see him walk by, to give him a hello. But anyway, for today's class, we're going to continue to focus on the lateral extension and flexation of our spine with some support of hip openings and working with our hamstrings today. And so with that being said, going ahead and grab 2 blocks for yourself. It's okay if you have one. I always, with my practice, bring 2 blocks in. What is one? Bring 2 blocks in, a strap and a blanket. Bring a pillow for some additional comfort in case that you need it throughout our class. Let me see. Okay. And if you happen to hear any like weird vibrating noises, I do apologize. I have a space heater going on. I know it's the middle of April, but this room is always cold. So apologies if that's a little loud at the moment. But other than that, you can go ahead and I would suggest playing any music that you would like to play at your house just at this moment. I don't want to wake anybody else up with my music. So if you would like to go ahead and play some music for yourself. You can go ahead. That way you're your own DJ today. Yeah, other than that, go ahead and grab your props and start to get comfy on the mat. Alright. And so as we are here onto the mat today, we're gonna go ahead and start onto our spine. So finding yourselves onto your back. At this time, since we're gonna be on our spine, if you wanted a little support for your sacrum, you can just grab your blanket and start to spread it onto the mat here. Okay, great. Thank you. All right. So then as you find that support for your lower spine, go ahead and spread your feet towards the top of the mat, but also to the corner so that we are active and open here. And then you can begin to take your hands to the side and start to rotate your shoulders back into the girdle, lifting up through the chest here. Okay. So as we have our shoulders rolled under, good, our palms out to the side, we're here in a very active corpse pose. Good. And then in this active corpse pose, have your chest popped up into the air, shoulders underneath our girdle here. Feet are nice and active. We're going to start to take these strong breaths, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the nose. Allowing ourselves when we breathe to meet our lower spine to the mat here. So as we're active, rooting through the heels, the knuckles of our fingers are making the connection to the mat here. As we start to make this connection, we want to actively bring your crown towards the top of the mat and our ankles towards the bottom here. Acting at this as if there's a bowling ball onto our stomach so that our spine can meet more onto the mat. And then as we start to take these deep and connecting breaths, I just wanted to read a passage to set the mood for this morning's class. On Tuesday, I read a passage about how movement in general is yoga, because our body is always in a state of constant motion, even if we're just sitting down. We breathe, the air circulation is motion, and then our blood helping support our organs to help support us. That's movement. Wanted to take things today on more of a spiritual side and just reminding us that we are more than our own body. That in addition to what makes up our body and the movements with it, there is within us what we call spirit. And the spirit does not have a shape or form, and it cannot be located in a photograph or touched with our own fingers. So rather, it is a felt thing, an intuitive thing, residing in ourselves but not limited to the confines of our own bodies. So unlike our bodies, which are bound by the limits of physical existence, our spirit are limitless. And today, notice what you inherit and what you sense. So notice what you find yourself dreaming about or imagining, and that these are experiences of your spirit. So as you go through our practice today, honor them as you honor your bodily experience and embrace your spiritual self. So as we start to ground here onto the mat and making this connection our body to the mat here. You can go ahead and take a deep inhale and scoop your arms to the side to bring them all the way up above your head. So having your hands nice and active, like in karate chop, towards the back of the room, thumbs towards the floor. And from here, you can point your toes to the front of the mat, having your feet connected. It's a long body stretch. At the same time that we are pointing our toes forward, still having that bowling ball onto our stomach here so that our low spine meets towards the mat. Good. And then that way we aren't overarching into the lower spine. So bringing your spine to the mat, toes pointed forward. You might lose some range of motion in your arms here, but that's okay because throughout each and every one of your breaths, on every exhale, the gravity will bring your arms a little closer to the ground. This is a great way to ease in to opening up your shoulders for today. So staying strong, connected, maybe a little bit of that core engagement of your full core and your lower pelvic core over here. Having them engaged to help keep the spine to the ground. I'm going to stay here for 5 more breaths. So keeping the hands active here as the arms are above the head. Okay, then after the 5 breaths, very gently inhale, bring the arms above your head and start to guide your upper body to the right side of the mat, but keep your hips into place. As your hips are into place, go ahead and guide your legs to the right, placing your left ankle on top of your right, and possibly grabbing onto your left arm. Keeping your chest open, shoulders to the ground, and to the best of your ability, having your arms intensely going towards the ground as well, and not all the way up towards the sky. So trying to work with your arms towards the floor so you can get more into the shoulders, more into the side body as we start to stretch here. And if you wanted to take it a little further, you can always create the Kali Mudra, which is your little finger gun. You can actively point it towards the right side, keeping both arms straight. Good. Staying here for 3 more breaths. So maybe challenging yourself to see if you can get more out of this crescent moon shape. Breathing deeply to the sides. If you feel your left hip trying to rise, rooted towards the ground. And then once you're finished with those breaths, you can go ahead and release, taking your spine back to the center, your legs into the center, pointing the toes to the front of the mat, engage the core, and inhale. Karate chop the hands again and bring them above your head for 5 breaths. Nice and strong and active. The lower spine is making its way to the mat here. Then after those 5 breaths, you're going to take the upper part of your body to the left. Keep the hips into the center, but take your legs to the left and place your right ankle over the left. Good. And then either grabbing onto the right wrist or Kali Mudra, side bending towards the left side. Keeping the arms straight and towards the back of the room. We're going to stay here for about 10 breaths, just like we did on the other side. So as you go through your inhalations and exhalations, finding some length into your spine as we inhale, and maybe as we exhale, get a little deeper into the asana, whether that's physically or mentally. And reaching and bending tall with the arms as we side bend. Nice and tall, create that space. You should be at about 10 breaths. So we can go ahead and start to find ourselves back to the center of the mat. And as we find ourselves into the center, point your toes forward, karate chop the arms above your head. But engage through the shoulders and stay here for 3 more breaths. The next inhale, bring your arms towards the ceiling. Place the palms together and allow the palms to meet towards your heart center. And from here, you're more than welcome to set an intention for your practice today, whatever helped brought you here onto the mat. And as we start to begin more movement here, you go ahead and walk your feet towards your glutes, hug the knees in. As we begin to hug the knees in, inhale, keep the shoulders onto the ground, or towards the ground at least, and bring your nose towards your knees. For a total of 5 breaths. Keeping your tailbone rooted towards the ground. And then after the 5 breaths, you can meet your head back to the ground and just kind of rock side to side here. And as we begin to rock side to side, we're going to go ahead, hug the right knee into your chest, and inhale, straighten your left leg towards the ceiling, having the foot flexed, toes pointing towards your face. Engage through the quad. Inhale, very gently guide the left heel just to hover above the mat. 2 breaths. Hug the right knee in more. Good. Inhale, bring the left leg back up towards the ceiling. Exhale, release, heel towards the ground, making sure that we keep our tailbone and our lower spine onto the mat. Inhale, rise. Exhale, release. Engage the quad. Inhale, rise. Exhale, release. And one more time. Inhale, rise. And then exhale, release. Good. Bringing the heel all the way to the ground. And then as we hug our right knee in, we can go ahead and bring it more towards the right shoulder here for more an opening. Stay here for about 3 breaths. After those 3 breaths, we're going to bring the right knee over towards the left shoulder, not going into a twist. We want to keep the hip as connected to the ground as we can here. Good. So just bring it up and in towards the left shoulder. Hips are squared. Keep the right foot flexed. 2 more breaths. Good. Begin to find a little bit of some circulation or rotation here into the right hip socket. And after you've found a few rotations here, you can then go ahead and reverse the rotation. As we find this reverse rotation, you can then go ahead and inhale, open up the right knee to the right side. So it almost looks like Captain Morgan style here, keeping the right foot flexed, left hip is onto the ground. Good. 3 breaths. Good. And from here, we want to bring the right knee back into the chest. We're going to bend the left knee, coming into that figure 4 shape. As we're here with this figure 4 shape, right foot onto the left thigh, keeping the right foot flexed. We're going to gently place our right hand near our hip crease on our thigh. We're going to inhale, just very gently guide the thigh away while pressing the right foot into the left thigh in this figure 4 shape. Staying here for 3 more breaths. And make these breaths nice and long. We don't want to rush through our practice today. And then you can go ahead of the next breath. Just very gently slide the right foot onto the outside of the left, coming into eagle legs. And bringing your arms out to the T. We're going to tuck the left hip underneath the right and inhale, guide the knees to the left side. So this is our first twist of today. So if you need to prop up, place any blocks underneath the right and left knee, you go ahead and do so. Just want to make sure that the shoulders are engaged underneath your back and that we have both shoulders connecting to the ground. So if you feel like your right shoulder is starting to leave off the ground, just light up the twist a little bit. Actively root the right shoulder and the left shoulder. Two more breaths here. And next breath, inhale, rise, bringing knees up towards the air. Fix your hips, re-square them. Good. And then keeping the knees wrapped, we're going to bring the knees up towards our chest, hug it in. Good. As we hug our knees in, we're going to inhale, bring nose to knees, bring the shoulders away from our ears. For 3 breaths, tailbone to the ground. If it's easier to grab onto the feet, you can grab onto the feet as well. And then after those 3 breaths, we can exhale, release through the legs. Go ahead and just kind of shake it out if you need to. Maybe create some rotation if you need, swimming with your knees. Keep the toes nice and active. Good. And then the next breath, we can go ahead and hug the left knee in. We have the left knee hug in, left foot flex. We're going to flex the right foot and inhale, rise, bring it up towards the ceiling. 5 times. We're going to engage the core and inhale, send the heel towards the ground, hovering, not touching. And then exhale, release towards the ceiling. Good. Do this for a total of 5 breaths, making sure that the quad is engaged, that we're sending energy out through the heel and the sole of our foot as we are moving. Our shoulders are onto the ground. And then after you have done your round of 5, you can connect the heel all the way to the mat. Keep it there and hug the left knee deeper in towards your chest. And then as you have the left knee hugged in, you can then send the left hip over towards, or the left knee towards the left shoulder. Same here for 3 breaths. Good. Next breath, we're going to inhale, guide the left knee to the right shoulder, keeping the hip onto the ground here. And after those 3 breaths, we're going to bring our right arm to the T, and we're going to Captain Morgan style. Inhale, bring the left knee over towards the left side of the room, keeping the right hip onto the ground. So if you do start to feel your right hip rise, you can instead place your hand onto the hip, guide it, and staying onto the ground. Good. 2 more breaths here. Okay, so after those 2 breaths, we can go ahead and create a little bit of rotation into the hip socket. Good. As nice and gentle as you can for yourself. And then after a couple rotations, you can go ahead and reverse the order here. And as you find these rotations, you can then hug the left knee back in, and with the right foot, place it to the ground, heel close to your glutes, and place the left foot on top of the right, figure 4, and press the thigh just very gently away as we flex through the left foot. Pressing the left foot into the right thigh. Figure 4 shape. We stay here for a total of 5 breaths. I'll open up through the hip. Yeah. And gently, after these breaths, we're going to slide the left leg down the right, bringing our arms out to that active T. Bring your hips to the left and twist to the right. That eye gaze over the left shoulder. Stay here for 5 breaths in this twist. So prop up underneath the knees if you need to. And again, making sure that both shoulders are onto the ground, that we're supported through the upper spine. And finding a little bit of a lift in through your chest as well. And then you go ahead and release, go back to the center, keeping the knees interlocked. Go ahead, either grab onto the knees or the outer edges of the feet. Root through the tailbone and inhale, bring knee to nose, shoulders away from the ears. For 3 breaths. And then you go ahead and release the knees. And from here, you can crisscross the ankles and do 5 spinal rolls until you make it onto your full seat. And then once you have completed your 5 and made your way onto your seat, you can then hop right into a tabletop position. So then in this tabletop position, just doing 5 sets of cat-cows. So shoulders rotate back, inhale, lift up your chest and your tailbone into cow. Then exhale, round through the shoulders as you would in cat. Go ahead and find your own breath and your own pace in these movements. And then as you've done your 5 sets of cat-cow, you then curl the toes, come into an active child's pose. So bring the tailbone towards the ground, toes are tucked, stretching out through the feet, through the ankles. Pressing your hands into the mat and very gently away from your body to open up more through the shoulders, open up through the spine. Two more breaths. Next inhale, coming into your tabletop, bringing your hands out, extended puppy pose. So bringing the tailbone up towards the sky, chest towards the ground, opening up through the arms. 3 breaths. Good. And then inhale, go ahead, come back into your tabletop position. We're going to curl through our toes, downward facing dog. This is our first downward facing dog, so pedal up through the feet. Engage through the quads, hug the kneecaps up. Stomach is going to go towards the thighs, chest towards the ground. Pedal out through the spine. Good. We're going to bend the knees generously, eye gaze forward. Hop, step, or walk to the front of the mat. Uttanasana, forward fold. Find that inhale, halfway lift, cat's cow spine. Exhale, forward fold. You're going to bend the knees generously, take the tailbone back, and then inhale, rise it to your chair pose. You should see the top of our feet here. So if you can't see the top of your feet, you can just go ahead and send the tailbone back more. Okay. And then inhale, rise all the way up into your high mountain, back bend maybe. And then palms together, Samasthiti, hip hinge, straight spine, forward fold. Hands to the mat, inhale, halfway lift. Good. Exhale, forward fold, pressing your hands into the mat, tailbones up. And we're going to place our fingers onto the mat still. Inhale, halfway lift once more. Walk our fingers towards the right foot. 2 breaths. Release, walking your peace fingers over towards the left foot. 2 more breaths. Good. And then once more over towards the right. And these are for a total of 3 breaths. Okay, your third breath, you can go ahead and walk over towards the left for 3 breaths. Good. Coming back into your forward fold. Hands pressing into the ground. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend the knees generously, coming back into your chair. Engage the core, rising up through the arms. Good. And then rising all the way up, that bend maybe. And then palms together, Samasthiti. Now we're going to open up our arms and bring our shoulders into the girdle here. So as we are out here into T, we can go ahead, inhale, bring the shoulders into the girdle. Bring your feet together. And if you need to, you can place a block in between your legs. I find it to be more comfortable here. So you're block in between our thighs. Bring your arms up the T. Bring them into the girdle. We're going to hug at the block or the pillow into the thighs. And we're going to inhale, start to twist on over to the right side. Opening up our chest towards the right side of the room and bringing our right hip crease towards the front. So squaring at the hips, hugging at the block. Good. Inhale, rise, both arms towards the ceiling. And then exhale, release into your T, into your strong T. Inhale, twist on over towards your left side. Bring the left hip crease forward. 2 more breaths, total 3. Good. Inhale, rise, both arms towards the ceiling. And then exhale, release into your T. Inhale, twist again over towards the right side, maybe going a little deeper, bringing the right hip crease forward. Good. Inhale, rise, arms up towards the ceiling. And exhale, T, twist on over towards the left. Hip crease center. We're going to go a little faster here. So one more time, inhale, arms up towards the sky, send over towards the right. Good. Inhale, rise, and then sending spine to the left, hip crease forward. Good. And then inhale, rise, both arms towards the ceiling. And then as our arms are towards the ceiling, we're going to create the Kali Mudra. Bring our finger gun up towards the ceiling, hugging at the block here. And then as we inhale, we're going to lift up through the chest and through the crown and start to guide our body towards the right side. That's finding a good bend so we're not just stuck in the upper arms. We want to find that full bend into the left side. We're reaching up through the arms and through the neck. Inhale, rise. Arms up towards the ceiling. The exhale, bending on over towards the left side. Lifting up through the neck. Lifting up through the arms and the spine. Catching your breath. Inhale, bring your gun up, and then going back over towards the right side. Next breath, inhale, rise, and then exhale over towards the left. Take 2 breaths. And then inhale, rise, release the arms, and come into cactus arms. Good. As we come into cactus arms, we're going to inhale, bring our chest forward or bring our arms back. As we exhale, we're going to bring the forearms forward, chin to chest. 3 more times. Inhale, forearms back, chest open. Exhale, forearms to meet, chin to chest. Go ahead and find this movement for the rest of your counts. After you found the shoulder opening here, we can then keep the block plugged into the thighs and inhale, rise, arms up towards the ceiling. And the exhale, hip hinge, forward fold, all the way to the ground. Okay. You go ahead and remove the block. Just place it to the front of the mat for now. Okay. As we hear this forward fold, we're going to go ahead and hop into a plank position. So go ahead, hop into plank. Okay. So we're here in plank. Hold it for 2 breaths, shoulders over the wrists here. Puffing up through the shoulders. Inhale, shift forward onto your toes, chaturanga, all the way to the mat. And then inhale, coming up into cobra. Chest forward, shoulders away from the ears still. And then exhale, release. We're going to curl the toes. We're going to inhale, chaturanga. Exhale, downward facing dog. Go ahead, pedal up through the legs. Send the chest forward. Okay. And then as we find this pedal, we're going to again inhale, round through the shoulders, come into plank. Shift forward, chaturanga, all the way to the mat. Inhaling into cobra. Exhale, release. Curl the toes. Inhale, rise, chaturanga. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pedal out through the feet, tail one up. Good. And then one more time. We're going to round through the shoulders into plank. Shift forward, chaturanga, all the way to the mat as we inhale, cobra. Exhale, release. And then inhale, downward facing dog. Good. And this time we're going to stay a little more stationary here. So hugging at the quads, kneecaps up, ankles towards the ground. Good. We're going to root through the left heel. Point the right toes back, 3-legged dog. So you bend the knee, we're going to open up the hip crease to the right side, spreading your knees as far apart as we can. Good. Square through the hips. Inhale, knee to nose. Exhale, 3-legged dog. Bend the knee, open up the hip crease, and then straighten out through the right leg. Be more to the side body here. Good. Straight leg, 3-legged dog. Bend the knee. Inhale, knee to nose. Send the right foot forward. Then we get to running lunge. Flat left palm. Inhale, rise. Twist. Right arm towards the ceiling. Opening up through the chest. All right, and then exhale, release. Right palm to the inside of the right foot. Put the left foot warrior diagonal. Grab a block if you need it for your right hand. And inhale, rise. Left arm towards the ceiling. And we really want to focus on the upper trunk opening up. So we don't want to put a lot of strain onto our shoulder, trying to send our arm back. But instead, let's move with our chest forward here. Good. And you can always use the support of your knee. Pressing against your arm simultaneously pressing against your knee to help open up the chest as well. And then from here, we're going to engage through the core and inhale, rise, warrior 2 position. Good. So as we are here into our warrior 2, we want to make sure that we do have our block steady in case that we need it. And you can keep it onto the inside of your right foot here. So we come into this warrior 2 stance. We're just going to keep our hands onto our legs. Inhale, come into a knee bend. And then exhale, straighten the right leg, send the left hip crease back. Inhale, straight, bend the knee. Exhale, straighten. Just go ahead and find these movements for a few breaths here, just so we can open up more through the hamstrings. Open up more through the hips. And get our blood warmed up a little bit. We also want to be familiar with this motion because we're going to be needing it for our side bends here. So do 2 more wherever you're at. On the next breath, extend your arms out. Come into your warrior 2. So you're into your strong warrior 2. You're going to flip the right palm up. Inhale, reverse the warrior. Eye gaze up. And then exhale, release. We're going to inhale, straighten out through the right leg. And then inhale, reverse warrior again. Getting a little more to the side body this time. And then exhale, release. Bend the knee. Inhale, reverse warrior. Good. Exhale, release. Inhale, straighten the leg. Reverse warrior again. Good. And exhale, release, come to your warrior. Now let's work on this side a little bit more. So from here, what we're going to do, With the same motion as we're going to inhale, bend the front knee and come into your side angle pose. With your left arm towards the ceiling and then pendulum swing it towards the front of the room. 3 breaths. Nice. I'm going to inhale, rise, warrior 2. We're going to straighten up through the right leg. And as our arms are forward into this T here, we're going to inhale, shift the hips forward, placing your right hand to the block and left arm towards the ceiling. So coming into your Trikonasana pose. Good. So in your Trikonasana, if you wanted to add a little spice, you can pendulum swing left arm down and towards the front of the room. Good. So remember these motions here. And then from here, we're going to inhale, bend the right knee. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. One more time. Inhale, bend. Keep it bent. Inhale, rise, warrior 2. Straighten through the leg. Exhale, Trikonasana. Inhale, Trikonasana prep. Bend the knees, side angle pose. Good. Inhale, rise, warrior 2. Straighten through the leg. Inhale, Trikonasana, bringing the left arm towards the front of the room. Good. Bend the front knee, and then inhale, rise, warrior 2. Point both toes to the front or to the sides of the mat. Come to a wide-legged forward fold here. Hinge at the hips. Arms are forward. So bring them forward like a downward facing dog to start. Tailbone back. Hands pressing into the floor. Looking out through the spine. Good. And then you can go ahead and start to walk your hands underneath to help get you a little deeper to your forward fold here. Good. Inhale, find that half lift. Exhale, forward fold. We're going to go ahead and take things a little backwards here. So we're going to take the block and just slide it over towards the opposite end of the mat. As we slide the block there, we're just going to walk your hands over towards the right foot. Get that side body bend. Tailbone back, engage your quads. Good. Exhale, release. Inhale, walking the hands over towards the left foot. Getting that good side bend in. So grabbing onto the foot or onto the shin. Then exhale, release, walk back. And then we're going to go ahead and point both the toes towards the opposite end of the mat so that we can walk to our left foot here. Good. Coming into that running lunge. So we're here into that running lunge. Flat right palm. Inhale, rise, left arm to the ceiling. Good. And exhale, release. Grab the blocks being inside the left foot. Good. Drop right foot to warrior diagonal. Open up through the chest and bringing the right arm towards the ceiling. And then very slowly pendulum swinging the right arm towards the front of the mat. Open up through the trunk here. Good. Keeping the front knee bent on the next breath. Inhale, rise, strong warrior 2. Inhale, straighten out the leg. Exhale, warrior 2. Good. Inhale, straighten out through the leg. Exhale, warrior 2. Stay nice and strong into your arms as you find these movements. Good. Keep being nice and conscious with your breath. Nice and even. Good. Then after we found this repetitive opening for our hip and our hamstrings, the next time that we make our way into our warrior 2 knee, flip the left palm up and reverse your warrior. And inhale, rise, straighten to the right leg, and find that reverse triangle here. Trikonasana. And with this one, you're going to feel more into your lower side body. Since the leg is straight. Warrior 2, reverse. Good. You can very slowly start to straighten and bend through the left knee. Keep the right knee locked. And that core engagement as you find these side bends here. Good. 2 more breaths. And then inhale, coming back into your warrior two. Let's work on the opposite side again. As we're here to the warrior two, we're going to go ahead and take the left hand down to the block again and come into your side angle pose, opening up through the chest, really extending the arm out. Good. And then inhale, rise, warrior two. Straighten out through the left leg and inhale, shift your hips forward, grab onto the block, triangle, right arm towards the ceiling. And if you would like to create that extra challenge, you pendulum swing the right arm down towards the front of the mat here. Good. Hold this for 2 breaths. And then inhale, warrior two. And then come into your side angle, bring the right arm towards the front of the room. From here, inhale, straighten out through the right leg. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straight. Exhale, bend. And go ahead and do this for 3 more breaths. Extending and bending of the left leg. And the next time you find your bent leg, come back into your warrior two. Point both toes to the side of the mat. Hands onto the hip hinge here. Actually, let's create more of a spinal challenge for us. Let's keep the toes pointed and bring our arms up like we would in chair. Hinge at the hips and bring our arms forward. So either like a chair or warrior three here with our upper body. So bringing our chest forward, hinging at the hips. Reach for something we just can't quite grab. And then exhale, release, hip hinge all the way to the ground. And this time we're just going to place our hands onto our elbows and find this pendulum swing here, side to side. Making sure that we have a little bit of puffing out through the chest so that we can guide a straighter spine to a hip hinge. Now I'm going to take our hands onto the mat. Kind of come into a very fat malasana or yogi squat. Walk your hands over to the left leg, come into ninja, rotate the right ankle and toes up. And then inhale, rise, right arm towards the sky, bend it over towards the left side. And then exhale, release. Come ninja onto the right side, toes up. Yeah, inhale, rise, left arm. A little side bend. Good. We're going to go ahead and find this repetitive motion back to back for a total of 5 on each side. So that means do 4 more. Making sure that we are moving articulately, gracefully, and nice and conscious so that we're not rushing through our practice here. And you can use that lower arm that's holding us into our ninja pose to help open up more through the chest as we twist. So I'm onto my left side right now. So as my right toes are lifted and rotated, my left arm is pressing into my knee at the same time my knee is pressing, or my thigh, pressing into my arm to help me open up more through the trunk. So then after we have done our 5 on each side, we can then go ahead and find ourselves back at the wide-legged forward fold. Placing your hands wherever it feels comfortable, maybe behind us to guide us more to the forward fold. Or maybe forward like a downward facing dog. We're going to walk our hands underneath, coming into twist. Flat right palm to the ground. Inhale, rise, left arm towards the ceiling. Good. Switch the palms. Inhale, right arm towards the ceiling. And exhale, release. Good. We're going to walk ourselves back to the left side of the mat. Through the right heel, straighten out through the left leg. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Good. We're going to bend the hip crease and open up to the left side of the room, spreading the knees as far apart as you can from one another. Let it square through the hips. Inhale, knee to nose. Exhale, three-legged dog. Bend the knee again, hip crease, and then straighten out through the left leg. So we're coming into a little spinal twist here. Good. Three-legged dog. Inhale, knee to nose. And then send the foot back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, round to the shoulders into plank. Chaturanga towards the ground. Flip the feet up. Inhale, upward facing dog. Knees to the ground, child's pose. As we're decompressing here in the child's pose, we want to bring the tailbone down towards the ground. Arms are extended forward. And inhale, walk your arms over towards the right side of the room. Left hand on top of the right. And then exhale, release. Walk your palms over towards the left side of the room. Right palm on top of the left. Good. And then we're going to go ahead and release. Bring the hands back to the center. And we're going to inhale, come into the tabletop position, and just swing your feet forward. Good. Nice. Just coming onto our sitting area here. As we're here to the sitting area, we're going to go ahead and straighten out through the legs, heels of the feet onto the ground. From here, I would go ahead and grab your blanket if you don't already have it. And I would pop it up underneath your tailbone. Okay, right underneath your tailbone. And if you have your strap, you can use your strap here. We're going to come into Paschimottanasana, forward fold. So making sure that you have your strap nearby. We're going to go into staff pose first to lengthen up through our spine. So from here, we're going to press our hands by our hips, rotate the shoulders back, and inhale, press our hands into the ground, lifting up through the chest. And we don't want to find this arch into our spine that we're lifting up by coming forward. We want the natural arch, but nothing that is straining out to the lower spine. Engagement through the core to help keep us stable in our posture. Good. And then after 2 more breaths, you're going to go ahead and grab our strap, place them around our ankle bones, rising up through the chest. As the exhale, we're going to hip hinge, engage the quads forward near Paschimottanasana. So either staying here, grabbing onto the straps, sending your chest forward as we hip hinge here. If you wanted to, you can grab onto the feet if you are able. One more breath. Very gently come back out of that Paschimottanasana, forward fold. We're going to bring the right leg out to the side as we bring the left ankle in. And we can take the strap from here. So a half wide-legged fold or a half wide leg, left heel in, right leg out. We're going to place the strap around our right ankle bone here. And then as we have our torso forward, we're going to take our right hand, slide it all the way down onto our strap until we find the most bend. So if that is your foot, that's awesome. But from here, we're going to inhale, rise, bring the left arm towards the right foot. Good. So as you have the strap inward, you can also bend at the right elbow and press your elbow in towards the right thigh to help open up the chest more. And inhale, rise, both arms towards the ceiling. And exhale, hip hinge forward fold for 3 to 5 breaths. Keeping the right toes flexed, toes towards the sky, knee rotated towards the sky. We're getting that external rotation towards the back of the room. And you can slowly rise, coming out of that fold, guiding the right leg back in, bring the left to follow. Just kind of move around through your knees, little mini windshield wipes if you need to reset. And then we can just preset, placing the strap into the left leg, and then bringing the left leg out to the side, toes up. You can always either sit onto your blanket if you need some support through your lower spine, or you can place a blanket underneath your left knee for support underneath your knee, whatever feels the best for you. Bring in the right foot in here. Okay. As the right foot is in, we're going to go ahead and send the left hand down the strap. If you can grab onto your foot, that's okay too. Whatever helps us here. We're going to bring our right arm and inhale, stretch laterally, flex all the way over towards the left side. So for me, I think it's best if we grab onto the strap and have our elbow at least pressing into the thigh to open up through the chest more, so we can get a little deeper to the side bend. Two more breaths. And then inhale, rise, bring my arms up towards the ceiling, and then hip hinge, forward fold, keeping the left toes up, the heels up, and just walking your hands forward. Two more breaths. Next, and then very gently start to walk yourself back to the mat. We're close to the end of class here, so you can go ahead, or we actually are at the end of class here. You can go ahead and find yourself back and square into your staff pose onto the mat here. And like we did yesterday, if you wanted to create support for your spine in your Shavasana, you can tri-fold your blanket into a little blanket burrito. And if you have your block, you can place it at the top of your mat or a pillow and just align the blanket onto the block into the mat here and align your spine to it. And then you can find your legs either straight here. And for our final stretch of the practice, we're going to bring our arms, just like we did in class. Inhale, bring it all the way up towards the front of the room, or the back of the room here. Point your toes towards the front of the mat. Take 3 inhales through the nose and exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. One more time, the biggest stretch of the day. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. You go ahead and place your hands wherever is comfortable, your feet wherever is comfortable, and enjoy the next few moments here in Shavasana. And then as we are lying here in our Shavasana, pick the quote to resonate with today's practice. And this quote is by Confucius, that the will to win, the desire to succeed, the urge to reach your full potential, that these are the keys that will unlock the door to personal excellence. So you can choose to stay here onto your mat, or if you would like, you can start to create some movements from your toes, your ankles, your fingers, and your wrists to awaken through the body. And on the next breath, we can inhale, bringing our arms above our head. Very gently guide the knees towards our chest since we're on our prop. And exhale, release. Just very gently, just take your knees and your arms to the sides, guiding yourself off of your prop. And then coming into a comfortable seated position. And we reconnect our palms to the heart center and take a bow for ourselves and everybody that has joined this class today. Thank you the resources that we have so that we're able to implement these type of classes. And thanking yourself and everybody else who participates so that we can make this happen for you. To each and every one of you, wish you a good day and good health, and namaste. Thanks so much for attending the 7 a.m. Hatha class. I have 2 more classes tonight at 6 p.m. and 7 p.m. 6 p.m. we have yin yoga going on, and then a slow flow after. So you're more than welcome to come and participate in those classes, and you can follow that here on the Adventure Rock YouTube. And if that is not accessible to you, I will be live streaming it onto my personal Instagram, Climbing Santosha. So you're more than welcome to come and join. And again, thank you for being a huge support in general for Adventure Rock. We greatly appreciate, first of all, your presence in general, because without your presence, we wouldn't have a community. And so for that, we thank you very much for being you and being awesome and sharing these excellent sports through fitness, yoga, and climbing with us, as well as thank you for supporting us during this time. If you have financially, and if you have it financially, like that's okay. These are weird times. We're just thankful that you're being active in general. So if you want to come and take some more of the classes tonight, you're really welcome to do so. I feel like Jacob Bach is doing a fitness class tonight as well. So if you wanted to go and join that as well, you can go ahead and do that. Follow the rest of the fitness instructors and the schedule that we have provided on the Adventure Rock website, as well as our YouTube. Other than that, I will see you later. So thank you very much.